Jones. To kind of get it going, I thought I would play this. I don't know if you could hear it. I'm sure you haven't heard this song before.
My song.
Your song. Do you actually know the lyrics to the entire song?
No, not at all, which is kind of sad because I've heard it a million times.
You heard it a million times? Was it played at your wedding?
Yes.
It was, okay.
We didn't request it, but at some points my friends did, and kind of made a big deal about it. Pretended we were like downtown for a minute and a half. It was fun times.
Well, it's a good song, you know. At least I get the Franz Ferdinand Come and Dance with Me, Michael all the time.
Yeah.
Which I don't know. Have you heard that one before?
You know, the name doesn't sound familiar, but I think if you played it to me, probably one of those things I would recognize. No, that's not it. That's better. I like that better. All right.
Gotcha, man. Well, I just realized that we're actually playing each other this week as well. So I would wish you luck, but I kind of need the win. So I don't know, man. I hope you lose.
We both do this year. Both teams a little shaky looking. I like it.
Yeah. It's just, once again, man, I don't start off on the right foot. And I guess it's like a 50-50 split with you and I right now. So anything could happen. Are you still going with Russell Wilson? Last time I checked, you had him in.
I picked up Fitzpatrick. And
Fitzmagic.
Because it's been pretty ugly with Wilson. So getting garbage time points and garbage time points only. So
yeah, that game's supposed to be a shootout. It's Monday night.
But the Tampa Bay and
Steelers, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So yeah, so that you're gonna drag it on for another day for me, man. It hasn't been. It's gone to the wire the last two games that I've lost. With Fernando, I lost on Monday night. With Keith, I lost with the second games around like 7-8 o'clock. But and you got Tevin Coleman, who's like a starting running back now too this week, huh?
Yahoo, when I did the draft summary at the end, that was the one Yahoo picked out is like my biggest reach. They're like, meh, it wasn't good. This wasn't good.
He was the guy I wanted, man. I was trying to hope to collect a few running backs in the middle of the late rounds, but as always in our league, man, we just hoard them. And but yeah, that game's gonna be a shootout, man. I wouldn't be surprised if Fitzy throws another, 3 touchdowns and it goes back and forth. But without further ado, man, I'll get this going again. Like I said earlier, we don't want to keep these too long. I know some of the guys in the league have a short attention span and won't be able to kind of go through it all. But a couple of questions from the league. So you are a 2-time second place finisher in our league, right? 2 out of the 3 years?
3 out of 4.
Wait, you made it to the finals 3 times?
Am I wrong about that?
I don't remember. I'm trying to think. I know you lost to Steve 1 year.
Yeah.
You lost to Jesse last year.
This is really sad. I've had a bit to drink wine-wise, but yes, I lost to Jesse. I lost to Steve. And didn't I lose to Joey? Or was it Jeremy?
Jeremy beat Steve, and then
so it wasn't him.
And then
Was it?
Did you? So yeah, did you beat Joey then?
I didn't beat it. I beat.
You played?
I didn't beat anybody, but I played the last, I think, 3 out of 4 and lost.
Are you serious? I didn't realize. I thought it was 2 out of. Hold on 1 second. Let me check real quick.
Check that up because I'm a little out of it right now, but I think we got this.
So I think it's 2016 is what we're looking at. Team Ramrod, that's you, right?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
3 out of 4, huh?
Kind of hurts a little bit.
You are the Buffalo Bills.
One of those times, but you know.
So which one hurts the most? There's one.
Oh, Steve's. And this one's not because it was against Steve, but because of how I lost. Like I don't know if you remember the game. It was back and forth. Steve took the lead, and then like a guy threw an interception, and I took it back. And then right at the end, I lost by half a point because they just let him run 10 yards to run the clock out. And I was just like, it's like garbage time yard. It's so rough.
But the good news, so this is your 5th year in the league, right?
Yes.
Wow. 3 out of 4
Wow.
in the that 1 year that you didn't make it to the finals, do you remember where you placed? Did you even make the playoffs?
Bad. I was like, no, I didn't make the playoffs. I was like 9th or 10th or something like
Okay.
that.
So what's your strategy, man? Like your draft strategy? You don't make a lot of moves in the waiver wire. Are you just like a patient guy? You just kind of wait for you guys to pop?
The difference, probably lucky, lucky
Mhm.
number one, and then yeah, patience. You know, I'm like the opposite of the other Steve. Like he's just making moves. You know,
Mhm.
Steve seems like he's jumping around a lot too, but I pretty much hold on to the guys I believe in, and then you know, fill in the gaps where I can with the waiver wires, stuff like that.
Do you do a lot of research during the week? Do you look at matchups? Do you kind of just
I used to look a little more. This year it's been pretty sparse. I
hmm,
pretty much did most of my draft stuff a day or two before.
okay.
We went to the cabin,
Mhm.
and it's been pretty. Like I completely forgot. Like on Thursday at like 7:30, I was like,
Mhm.
"Oh crap! I completely forgot about everything this week." So had to go set it up and do all that. So
Mhm. Are
yeah,
you are you worried about David Johnson at all?
yeah, they look pretty bad.
Mhm.
I'm hoping it changes up, but
How about your fandom with the Packers? Have you been following that at all?
yeah, it was a pretty rough week last week.
Mhm.
Um, not a fun way to lose the game or tie the game,
Mhm.
but we didn't lose either, so kind of lucky both ways.
Does it feel like a loss though when you tie? Because
When
not a lot of the,
we had a decent lead and we were doing really well, and we kind of
Mhm.
let it go. So I think those are the worst.
Are you worried about Rodgers and him lasting the entire season, or?
Yeah. um, yeah, I'm worried about him taking another hit and then just
Mhm.
crumbling, and then you know you don't want him to be injured again leading into next year and
Mhm.
still have the same problem.
Mhm.
So, not fun that we had to face Khalil Mack like on his first half when he felt like he had to prove something and he was just
Yeah.
annihilating the Packers line for like 30 minutes straight. It was pretty rough.
Mhm. Definitely, man. That Bears defense, Steve ended up picking them up, and that's a regret that I have as well. Just was looking at it, was debating it. They have some really good matchups, and they had a good defense last year. And when you just add Mac into the equation, man, they're just a force to be working with. So um, it's going to be a battle for the NFC North, right? I think besides the Lions, the other three teams can all win the division.
It's gone quickly from a really bad division like just a
Mhm.
few years ago to one of the rougher ones in the league. So
Mhm.
a couple of those teams had a good turnaround.
Do you have like an all-time favorite Packer besides Aaron Rodgers?
I mean, my parents were huge Brett Favre fans,
Mm-hmm.
so like they've been following the team a lot longer than I am, but
Mm-hmm.
they were big into that guy. So I would say he's probably my second favorite, just because he's an exciting guy to watch, the win or lose kind of guy. It's always the kind of guy you want to watch football. You don't want to watch the safe guy making
Mm-hmm.
the like Alex Smith. Like he's good, but he's not fun to watch. So
Yeah.
yeah, Brett Favre would be number two.
Okay. Let me look at some of these questions that the guys have sent and ask away. So I think we kind of touched base on the second place finish in the last couple of years. Some of the guys have asked, how does it always feel to, be a bridesmaid but never a bride? Which
Yeah,
I know it sucks, but honestly, man, for you to come in the league where you did and finish 3 out of 4 years in the finals, that's impressive, man. If you do the math, how much money have you won because of that?
I mean, you guys basically paid for my cabin trip, which was nice.
Mhm.
And then you basically pay my salary because I work for the city. So it's like you guys really help me out a lot. It's really nice. I
Yeah,
appreciate your generosity.
nice. So, who would you root for to win the league if it didn't involve you?
Tough question. I'm trying to think who hasn't won yet. Um, I would vote for. Well, I'll go with a tie. I would vote for Brian or Raj because they're both very nice people, but
Mhm.
they feel like I feel like they just have a decent teams beginning on, and then get some bad luck, and I don't. I don't know what happens.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I've had a lot of good luck over the years, and in the 4 years I've been here, I feel like they've had their indecent share of bad luck at the same time. So I would root for either of those two. No offense to everybody else, but
Yeah. Well, I think Brian's got a team this year, man. He might be able to do it with his squad.
But it's always about the end of the year.
Yeah,
you got to make it there. Like I had an awful beginning of the year last year, but it just made it the end of the year.
So if the league members were stranded in the woods, all right, which members would be most likely to survive? Which ones would be least likely? Give me like a couple. Most likely, least likely.
I would give Ed number one, probably.
I would agree. Ed's up there.
And he definitely Ed number one for many reasons. And then number two, I mean, I don't know if I would have picked him beforehand, but after the cabin weekend, I might go Jesse. That guy, he seems very comfortable outdoors and in his own skin. And, I feel like you kind of need that. You need to, just love throwing shit on a fire and, just throwing sausages in a fire pit and then taking them out, wrapping them, eating them. Good times, man. I think Jesse would be number two. And then least likely, I'll go with Steve number one. Well, Steve and Raj, I would go with number one and number two.
Okay.
But that's just based off of one weekend hanging out and whitewater rafting. And
Raj seemed a little out of place out in the mountains, right?
I wouldn't say out of place on the mountains. He didn't seem super comfortable rafting, but at the same time, he didn't seem to have a problem with it. He went at it full speed. So definitely the rafting, but then I have to pick somebody. So I'd go Steve Raj.
Okay. Steve is obviously a good choice. Steve actually wanted me to ask you.
Okay.
He feels like he could probably get to everyone in the league. He could troll them and hit a nerve that would trigger a response. But he claims that he's had trouble, pushing your buttons, never really getting you to react to any of his shenanigans. Is there a reason why? Is there something that you just choose not to listen to, or?
I think I just haven't known Steve as long as you guys. So he knows more things about you that bother you.
And
he's usually able to exploit those things. But number two, I don't think I have I just haven't known Steve as long. So at the same time, that's true. I've known Steve a pretty long time. Either way, I have no idea. I'm going to stick with that. I just don't think he knows as much about me as he knows a lot of you guys.
Okay. Who do you think is the worst manager in our league?
Manager? I think I'm going to go with Panda, and that's purely he always has a good start to the year, and then I don't know, out of apathy or just being busy or both. I feel like the end of the year, especially if he's not doing well, just becomes a bit of a haberdash of nothing, just not paying attention as much. So I would go with probably Panda.
Okay. What about the best manager in the league?
It's easily me, 100%.
Well, okay, you can't pick yourself. Someone else.
I just did. No. I would probably go. I'll go with Joey, only because he has a
proven record.
Where that
Hold on a sec. Can you? It was kind of getting a little staticky.
Yeah, is that better?
Yeah, a little bit better. I'm sorry, I didn't get to hear what you said.
No, it's okay. I would probably go with Joey. He's just had pretty consistent years ever since I've joined. I'm pretty sure. He won the 1 year, obviously. And he just seems to have, a solid strategy that I like a similar strategy to me. So obviously, I'm probably biased towards that. But doesn't make a ton of moves. Isn't afraid to take a risk on some stuff. So good times.
Okay. Who's the best college team in Florida? Did you watch any college football today by any chance?
Right now, UCF.
Yeah.
Like it's clearly not Florida State. Probably definitely not. Well, UF would be difficult because they have a bad defense or a good defense, but their offense is pretty awful.
Mm-hmm.
I would still take UCF. Miami, I think, would be the biggest trouble, but at the same time, I haven't watched them very much this year, so I don't really know. I'm just looking at.
Yeah, they were up earlier when I was watching.
Scores. Like I feel like their first game might have just been like, first game, and they just get caught off guard. They're not 100% ready. So I would go with UCF, Miami, Florida State.
Mm-hmm. Do you think UCF could hang with the big boys if given the opportunity?
I think they could hang with like some teams in the top 10. I don't think they could hang with like the top couple, and that's only saying like maybe last year they would have at least put up a good fight. This year, I feel like they just don't have, like they're getting their stride better. It's a new offense, it's kind of the same, but they had a really good flow last year that I think if they had a good game last year, the right game, that they could beat a lot of people. This year, I just feel like they would be outclassed by the really big guys. Like Alabama, obviously, Georgia, Auburn, all those guys. It might be a little rough.
Mm-hmm. Did you catch the Nebraska score at all earlier?
Yeah, it was a shellacking. I think, a guy at Frisbee said this last week. Like, he doesn't want to see Frost lose, or at least he didn't think he did. And then he was watching the game, and he saw Frost losing, and he's like, "Yeah, I want you to regret like leaving us." I'm like, "Yeah, it's kind of like that."
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I think I was pulling for him at the beginning of the season just because, again, he didn't leave us for just any team. It's his alma mater. His family's from there, and I didn't think it would be this rough of a start. I thought he would win. He's 0-3 now. I thought he would win at least 1 or 2 by now. But
yeah,
not looking good, man. And then obviously we're doing okay, but as we lose players as the years progress, it's all about recruiting, man. We could see if Heupel can recruit and pick up some good players, and if we can keep the momentum going. But
that's the one thing about Frost. I wish he gave us like a good chunk of time. I know the Nebraska job is up, but the Nebraska job will he's a young coach. The Nebraska job will be up again. He could have taken it like 5 years down the line or something like that. I'm sure the turnover would come sooner or later. And it's hard to say wait, but at the same time, it's like we had such a good team and a good thing going. And it's like could have had that momentum. And now I'm just hoping like it wasn't like O'Leary years where we'd have one good year and then we would just not recruit well and crap the bed for the next couple of years and have to restart all over. So
back to fantasy football. Do you you never really look phased? You don't show a lot of emotion. When you lose any given week, how do you typically handle it? Are you moody? Do you just hold it in? You're just kind of like, oh, sucks.
Oh, sorry. It depends how I lose. Like the first week I lost because I was tinkering with my lineup too much. Like Bilal Powell, Isaiah Crowell. Like I couldn't really decide who I was gonna have in, and even though Powell looked good, Crowell had like a better game, and I lost because of the difference between their 2 points, and that hurts more than just like if I just had a bad week or I got crushed or the person I played had like when Jeremy and Steve played last week, like to have like the best week except for the guy you played and they beat you by like 1 point. That's pretty rough too. So
yeah.
I don't get angry, but that I'll sit up and think about that one in bed for like 10 minutes.
I was a bit worried as I was driving home from Ben House. I listened on the radio of the Browns, and I heard both Jets running backs did really well. So I figured you had one of them in the lineup, and then when I checked Yahoo, I saw that you had him on your bench. So I think I dodged somewhat of a bullet, small bullet, but I think you still have a good enough team to kind of wipe me out. So
that one.
I don't know. You're.
Go ahead.
What's that?
I was gonna say.
No, go ahead.
That one hurt because I feel like I made the right move because Crowell had like a shitty game. Like he had, what was it, like 12 carries for 36 yards, or I think it was even worse than that. Let's check this out. 16 for 34. Like, that's pretty garbage. But then he got 2 touchdowns. And it's like, all right, well, that sucks.
Typically, but are you like a big believer in mobile quarterbacks? Do you like mobile quarterbacks?
Are we talking for fantasy or for
in general? Like I would say Aaron Rodgers is a mobile quarterback, right?
He's like, but that's the thing. Yeah, he's a mobile quarterback. Not right now, obviously.
Okay,
he's not like Russell Wilson or something like that, but he's definitely more mobile than most.
So there's been a question that I have to ask, and it's been an ongoing theme for a lot of the league members in regards to their opinions on mobile quarterbacks. And you being a Packers fan and Aaron Rodgers fan, if Aaron Rodgers was Antoine Rodgers, would he all respect him? I don't know what this question is supposed to really get at, but I think it's a roundabout.
I get it. I think so. Yeah, it's too hard to disrespect the how good Rodgers is. So, I think so.
You had Cam Newton a couple years ago, right? When you did really well. I think that one year he won MVP. You had him, right?
I can't remember if he won MVP that year or if it was the year after or before, but it was he was like first or second for quarterbacks in fantasy.
Is there like a fantasy player that you like have a soft spot for just because they did so well for you and you kind of always root for them? Like no allegiance with the Packers or anything like that. Just a guy that you kind of are a fan of and support.
Guy that I really like watching play and Panda stole from me in the 8th round. I tried to trade up for him with Chris Thompson. I love like the super quick, fun to watch little guy, but he's like a glass cannon. Like he broke his leg last year and he's had injuries all this time. I always root for those guys. Like I want to see him stay healthy for like a year and really tear it up. Like he's had a good 2 first games so far. So.
Okay. Any predictions for the season within our league? I know it's only been 2 weeks, but
within our league?
Yeah.
I don't know. I honestly haven't really paid attention to the scores and who's done really well so far. Yeah, I don't know. There's been a couple players who have played definitely outside their what I think they're going to do for the rest of the season, like Fitzpatrick probably, Mahomes probably, but we'll see how long those last. That could make or break a couple people's seasons. Those kind of guys.
Well, all right, man. I don't want to keep these too long. It was good catching up with you. I think we hit the 10-15 minute mark, right? Something like that.
I haven't paid attention, but it sounds about right.
Good, man. Well, I'm glad you were able to join. Hopefully, we get more guys to follow, and I think you're going to win tomorrow. So, congratulations early on. You'll be 2-1. I'll be 0-3, and at least I don't have to wear the moo this year.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say anything because I don't want to put that bad juju on myself. But I think I'm gonna win too. So.
I can't convince you at all to start Russell Wilson tomorrow instead of Fitzpatrick.
No, probably not.
No. Okay. We'll close it with that, man. It's been a pleasure, Jones. Give my best to the wife, okay?
All right. You have a nice night, Mike.
All right, man.